G'day, my name's Chris Anderson, and welcome back to the Ando & Co podcast. Thanks for tuning in. The last couple of episodes, I've spoken about being yourself. I did a little hypnotic track initially to help you become more like yourself, and then I explained what I did in that track. Today, I want to do the next thing, which is explain why it is important for me to talk about something like being yourself, right? Now, for those of you that know me quite well, or maybe you don't, but I've just been open with you, I have bipolar. Now, the weird thing about having bipolar is that when you tell someone that, you just make a blanket statement and they've got no idea what that means. If you tell someone that you've got depression, they kind of know. They've heard enough about depression to kind of know what depression is. You tell someone you have schizophrenia, they freak out. Maybe they've seen A Beautiful Mind or something like that. But if you tell someone that you've got bipolar, they probably have no reference for it apart from to think, oh, maybe this guy's a little bit crazy. So when I say that I have bipolar, I just want to be really clear what that means. That means that generally I have more energy than most. That means that when I'm elevated, 6 a.m. is too late to get out of bed. Right? 4 a.m., perfect. If I'm trying to make it last, I'll be getting out at 5 a.m., but I'm going to get out of bed at 5 a.m., ready to take on the world. Right? So, yeah, you can look at this and think, oh, that's a stigma. Or you can look at this like I now do and just go, that is way more of a blessing than a curse. Right? I have extra energy every day to go and take on the world. The issue with that is if I'm doing things that are boring, that don't include taking on the world, then I'm going to have to fit that into my day at some point, right? Because if you deny yourself what you really want, there's going to be problems, right? So I have an awesome job at the moment, which allows me to be more myself than I've been in a lot of roles previously. I love research. I love analytics. I love being strategic. I love being able to analyze things. And sales wasn't really like that for me. Sales was just talking to a person, getting a deal done, making money. And there's a lot of opportunity for you to make money in sales. But the reason that I've decided to do sales training is because I've got all of this additional info, all of this ability to speak to someone and diagnose and then go, all right, what do we do here? Let's play that angle. Let's be strategic. More so than I can when I'm just being a salesperson out in the world chatting with people, right? Because the unfortunate thing about sales is that a lot of the conversations that you have are going to go nowhere, especially in property, right? A lot of the conversations you're going to have in property are just going to be on the phone, speaking to what you're hoping is a potential vendor, but it's just some bloke in his house or outside of his house or at his work. You're calling him about his house, and he's like, dude, I really want to talk to you about this, right? So your ability to actually get to a point when you can have a sales conversation is made difficult because in property, what you're often doing is just looking for leads, right? Versus when you're a consultant, when you already have a client, when you already have the leads, you're just diving straight into what you need to do to solve a problem. And when you're solving a problem, you are a consultant. You're back straight in. Me, back straight in. KPMG Consulting line. Boom. What's showing up here? What do we need to do? Bang. Let's go. Right? So, yeah, when I say that to you, be yourself. I say that to you knowing that in the past, I've seen being myself as having stigma. Right? I've seen being myself wanting to do things at 4 a.m. Everyone around me who doesn't do that says it's weird. You speak to someone who's a martial artist, they say, I breathe between 3 and 5 a.m. I get up, I do my chi exercises. I get up, I do my 10,000 punches, right? You speak to someone else, in an area where that sort of thing is normal, suddenly it's not weird anymore. For everyone else outside those circles, you say to them, I got up at 3 a.m., I did my martial arts training, I did my initial energy work, I did the work that's going to make me strong. And yeah, most people are going to think you're weird. But if you want to do something awesome in this world, if you're going to create something that's going to last, that's going to have impact, then chances are you're going to have to be a little bit weird, right? So, yeah, you can continue to focus on everyone around you saying what you're doing is strange. Or you can decide that this feels right for me and I'm not going to give a fuck about anyone around me, right? You're still going to have to fit in with everyone around you, right? You're still going to have to make it work for all the normal people most of the time. But you don't have to hang out with normal people all the time. You got plenty of hours in the day where you can just be on your own if you really want. And when you're on, you can create whatever you want in the world. And the world is so big that whatever it is you create, you're going to find a market for it, right? It is inevitable. You are going to find a market. You tap into the right areas, that person finds out about you, that person knows other people that are like them. They go, hey, have you heard about this? Have you tried this? Would you like to meet this guy? Would you like to meet this girl? How about we do this? Is this something you've been considering? Right? And then at some point, that will open up for you. Because this is the thing. If you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old and you haven't been yourself just yet, guess what? You've got the rest of your life to be yourself. If you decide that you want to retire, right, but you want to retire after having lived a life that is not you, then why not just focus on being you, see if you can build a business out of it for the rest of your life? Because if you're just being you, it will never feel like work, right? So if you're just getting by, making enough money for what you need to just be you every day, is that really a bad existence? Would you actually prefer to have nicer things, a cooler car, a bigger house, but show up as you every day in the world and not be you, just for the sake of having the things? That's fine if you believe that that's right for you. But I'm going to suggest there's going to be something in the back of your head that makes you wonder, could I actually be showing up more as myself in the next few years if I walk into this meeting and I'm more myself than what I would usually be? Is it going to go better or is it going to go worse? And if you're worried about it going worse, just ask yourself, is this worth the risk of me knowing that if I don't try this now, I'm going to have to show up as someone else for the rest of my life, right? Or you can walk into the next meeting and just go, you know what? If I usually show up at 50% me, I'm going to go to 70. If I'm usually at 70, I'm going to go to 90. If I'm usually at 90, I'm going to try 95. But if I'm usually at 95, let's fucking bang 100, right? Because if it plays out that you get to be fully you in all of your interactions in your daily life, then your daily life compounded over all the remaining years of your life are going to be so much more enjoyable than they would have been had you just had a mask on, trying to be someone else just so that you can fit into the world. So I'm going to leave it there for now, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.